Welcome to Mission Evolution Radio Show with Gwilda Wiyaka, bringing together today's leading experts to uncover ever-deepening spiritual truths and the latest scientific developments in support of the evolution of humankind. For more information on Mission Evolution Radio with Gwilda Wiyaka, visit www.missionevolution.org. And now, here's the host of Mission Evolution, Miss Gwilda Wiyaka.
The pursuit of self-improvement often consumes substantial time and resources, yet the results are frequently uncertain. Might the solution to our quest be as straightforward as self-love and self-acceptance? What exactly is self-love? Mission Evolution Radio TV show is coming to you around the world on the X-Zone Broadcast Network, xzbn.net. With us this hour to take a closer look at self-love is Judith Costa. Judith is an unconditional love coach, self-love expert, seminar leader, writer, speaker with a master's degree in analytical psychology and psychotherapy and an MBA. She's a certified consultant and teacher of the Akashic Records, a Reiki Master, a past life regression therapist, and a happiness trainer. Her website, judithmcosta.com. Judith, thanks for joining us on Mission Evolution.
Oh, thank you so much, Gwilda. It's such a pleasure to be here with you today.
It's wonderful to have you. So, when did you first recognize the importance of self-love?
Really, when my life was not working at all, and I didn't know exactly what was the problem. Usually the problems seem to be outside. It's something that it's not working, maybe your relationship, your marriage, your job, your finances, your health. But as the title of this conversation, maybe the enemy is within. Maybe the lack of self-love is what is creating all these problems in your life. And it was such a discovery.
Yeah, it seems so simple. so we're on the same page. What is self-love?
Self-love is a very big concept. It includes so many things, but to simplify, let's start by saying that it's becoming your best friend. Usually we treat ourselves very badly. We are mean with ourselves. We tell ourselves things that we wouldn't say to anyone we love. We don't take care of us properly. We judge ourselves so hard. We criticize ourselves constantly. We put ourselves down. Then self-love will be just the opposite. To choose those relationships, those situations in life, those behaviors, those thoughts that help us to become the best version of ourselves. But it's, as I was saying, it's a big concept because not everybody have the same issues regarding self-love. Some people have problems because they are so critical or they judge themselves, but others because just they cannot forgive themselves for their mistakes. Other people have forgotten that having pleasure in life and having pleasurable moment, joy, and do things that you like, it's very important. We have to schedule this in our agendas. And for others, it's just that they have forgotten how to express their voice and their needs. They have abandoned themselves in relationships maybe, or they just please others, but they have forgotten that they are as important as the rest of people they love. Then it's complicated to just define self-love in a sentence, unless we say, just treat yourself the best way you can, the same way you will treat someone that you really love. Don't do anything to sabotage your efforts and to complicate your life.
It seems like we've, kind of been taught to don't be full of yourself,
Yeah.
Be modest, don't be full of yourself. And I think that might play in here. So what's the difference between self-love and self-absorption?
Yeah, the problem with self-love is people that, for example, I had my husband is a person that is self-centered. It comes in his back. Then he understands this idea of I am important, I'm the center of the universe. But I tend to work with people that like to serve others, like to give love, like to maybe self-sacrifice. They understand that it's important for their education or for their personality, or because this is what they have received as a family pattern or from the religion where they have grown, that it's better to put others ahead ourselves. And this in the long term doesn't work. It's complicated because you really have to be there for yourself. You have to fill your own tank of love to really be there and hold the space for others. Then self-absorption will be, I'm just centering myself. I don't care about the rest. But self-love is what gives you the ability to be there for others fully, completely, be present, and help others. Because you have so much love, you are the source of love, and you can share it with others because you will always create more. It's totally yours.
Is there sounds like there needs to be a balance between love of self and love of other.
Yeah.
If you lean too much one way or the other, you're not living a balanced life. So how do we, that seems like an elusive balance. How do we find that?
By practicing, by trying. I learned very well in my relationships how to abandon myself and forget who I was. And it's something that happens. Think that relationships are laboratories where spirit or God or whoever you believe in teaches us how to learn how to love and how to be loved. If you are alone in a mountain, isolated, your relationship with yourself maybe will be perfect. The problem is what happens when you enter in relationship with others. And that's the key. Then in order to balance this, you have to be aware that maybe you lack self-love and build this through self-appreciation, through training your brain, through forgiveness, through all these techniques that we can talk about that will help you improve your life. And the more love you have for yourself, the more love that you have to share with others. Usually what we do is the opposite. I give you all my love because I love you so much. And there is a moment where I don't have love. I don't have anything to give. Then from where I'm giving from a place of lack, and this creates resentment in the long term.
It's for the most part, don't we try to find love from someone else? So we try to earn someone else's love to fill that spot
Yeah.
that should be self-love?
Yeah, that's exactly true. What happens is that we learn conditional love. As you said, my title is Unconditional Love Coach for this reason, because I help people to understand that love, true love, has to be unconditional. Love for no reason, love no matter what, love because I choose to love, not because I have a reason. But since we are kids, starting with our families and continue with the friendships and the relationships that we establish since we start dating, we tend to have the idea that there is someone that is going to awaken the love within myself. I don't have it unless someone will love me. I'm unlovable, is how many people in the world feel right now. And it's because we don't learn this idea of self-love in the school, not even in our families. Not so many people have conscious parents that can empower their kids and tell them, don't worry, you're okay the way you are, and I will love you no matter what. We receive many messages that if you don't behave this way, I'm not going to love you. Or if you are not a good girl, I'm not going to be there for you. I'm going to get angry with you. And we start changing our original nature just to be accepted, just to be really who other people want. We put a mask because we believe that who we are is not good enough.
So the parenting techniques have changed over time.
Yes.
So it used to be spare the rod and spoil the child. And then when we decided that's, corporal punishment is not the way to go, then people started withholding approval and love to manipulate behavior. Do you think this is at the source of some of the lack of self-love people suffer from?
It's much complicated. I cannot give you a short answer because I think that from 0 to 7, we don't have any filter, and any message that an authority figure tells us, even TV is considered an authority figure, we believe it's true. Then that's where the problem starts, that because we cannot filter and we believe that all of these messages of you have to be a good girl, you cannot show your emotions, boys don't cry, and all of this happens, then even if our parents use one of the techniques, the old one or the new one, it depends on the kid. There are kids that no matter how much love you give them, it's like if they have a hole in the pocket, wherever you put there, because they have not built this love for themselves. They don't know that it's okay to be themselves. Nobody have told them that they have permission to love themselves. And they started trying to change themselves to get the love they feel they need. And we all want love. We want to belong. This is a normal need we all are born with.
It's paramount. I mean, there's been studies done that when children are just taken care of, but there's no affection, they don't thrive. In fact, I think there was who was it, King Henry, the something or other, did a test, and he had these children taken away from their parents and raised by caregivers, infants, that did nothing but take care of change their diaper and stick a bottle in their mouth, but didn't hold them, cuddle them, talk to them, coo. And they, 201, I guess, died. It was pretty horrific at the time. So
Yep.
isn't love something that's just there? Isn't it a matter of tapping into it?
Correct. It's totally true. Love is an energy, and it's abundant, and it's always there for you. Love will never abandon. You can tap into that. But what we tap is in the lack of love. We remember how we feel because of what happened. We live sometimes in the past. Oh, someone hurt me. But it's just that impossible. Someone can awaken or trigger some dynamic that is already within you. And when you are in this situation, you feel something, but it's an illusion really that someone can really hurt you, because you are the one that can change your energy. You have more power than you imagine to really shift and come back to love, come back to the energy that you choose to have. Then the same way you automatically go to a moment of unhappiness or lack of love, you can use your imagination to come back to a moment where you felt so loved, so fulfilled, so happy about your life, so connected with yourself and the universe. When you feel the love for a pet or for your children, and this will put you in a different state, then we tend to blame people for our problems in relationships. And we say, oh, my heart is broken, or this happened to me, these people did that, but it's not like this. Like, love is not the guilty one. Maybe relationships are not successful between humans because we are all learning here how to love and how to be loved. But love, as pure energy that it is, will never hurt you. And if it hurts, it's not love.
If it hurts, it's an agenda that you've had that got broken.
Yeah, or it's manipulation, or it's someone that it's not capable of love. There are people that don't know. We are all at different stages. They don't know how to do this.
Well, it's that magic moment, Judith. We're going to have to take a station break. Judith and I will return very shortly, so don't go away. This is Mission Evolution, www.missionevolution.org. Do you love yourself? Are you sure? With us this hour discussing self-love is Judith Costa. Her website, judithmcosta.com. Judith, can we even tell if we love ourselves?
Yeah, we can because self-love brings vitality, health, well-being, brings abundance, brings better relationships. But we can see it when we stop loving ourselves. It's very clear what happens. We tend to sabotage our efforts to improve our lives. We don't want to feel what we are feeling. We tend to kind of disconnect from our feelings. We stop taking care of ourselves. We have behaviors like we don't sleep, or we have addictions, or we have problems of health. All of this takes an effort to recognize, but the center of the issue is not what you are seeing is the lack of love for yourself. It's like we are planting seeds every day, and there is a moment where something grows. It might be a beautiful plant that blossoms, or it might be something that we don't like.
Noxious weed.
Yes.
We've all seen people that are very, well, it's a big buzzword right now, narcissistic, self-absorbed, strut around like they are the best thing and nobody else could possibly matter as much as they do. However, isn't this deceiving? Are those people that have a lot of self-love, or are those people that don't have self-love and try to compensate?
I believe that they don't have self-love and they try to compensate, but let's separate, because narcissism is really a big problem. It's an illness. It's something. A narcissist doesn't have the capability to be in your shoes. Doesn't understand that it's hurting you. It's something different. But yeah, there are people that are self-centered or self-absorbed, and they don't need this dose. I don't tend to attract clients like this because they don't need me. They have clarity on how to do things. But again, the more you love yourself, the easy is for you to relate with people like this, because you will learn how to set up boundaries. We haven't mentioned this until this moment, but it's important to not to protect yourself, to set the limits in a relationship, what is acceptable for you and what is not acceptable. Then usually the people that don't have self-love combine very well with people that like to lead, like to kind of not manipulate in the bad sense, but manipulate in the sense like put the things together, decide, know exactly where the things are going to go. And the person that doesn't love, just follow until there is a moment where there is an imbalance. There is no equality in the relationship. Then the person that doesn't have self-love will have to see, okay, something is happening in here that, or I'm abandoning myself, or I don't have any idea how to set up boundaries. And maybe this is the moment to explain that there are certain things that maybe don't work for me in the relationship, especially if you value the relationship. Relationships can shift. They have dynamics, but the more you love yourself, maybe the more people that are near you are going to be like a little bit angry or unsatisfied because maybe you behave in the past in a way that you are not going to continue doing. And this affects children, this affects partners, this affects colleagues at work, even your boss.
So when you don't have self-love, yet you try to set a boundary, it doesn't go off real well, does it?
Yeah, but again, we tend to make things very complicated in the sense that, oh, this idea of changing is so hard. And I think that it's harder to stay the way you are when your life is not working. Then, yeah, setting up boundaries when you don't love yourself, it's something that it's going to feel complicated because people tend to feel guilty. When I say no, then I feel that others are not going to accept me, or they're going to get angry with me. Or let me give you an example. Let's suppose that I'm a mother of two young children, and I also study, and my mother helps me with the kids and everything. And I have an exam on Monday, and my mother wants to go out to the mall. I still have to clean the house. I have to study for my exam. I have plenty of things to do. But because my mom takes care of my kids, I don't want to make her feel disappointed or angry, because what if she says, no, I'm not going to do this for you? Then I give up on what is important for me, instead of really being authentic in a relationship and say, Mom, really, let's go to the mall during the week or next weekend because, look, I have to do this and this and this. We think that people read minds. Maybe your mom is unaware that you have all of this weight on top of your shoulders, or that you don't feel good, or maybe that you don't like action movies or terror movies when you go to the movie theater. Then explaining what you want, setting up boundaries, is not saying no to others, it's saying yes to yourself.
That's a really beautiful way of putting it. And it seems like when a person doesn't have self-love and they've been in that situation for a long time, and all their relationships around them have built around that format, don't we lose ourselves to the point we don't even know what we want?
Yes, it's like in this movie, I don't remember the title, of Julia Roberts, that she doesn't even know how she liked the eggs, and then he has to prepare like scrambled eggs and boiled eggs and all of this to know. Then what you said is real. It's real. There is a moment when we give, and I have conversations with clients about this. We give ourselves so much, so continuously, that we don't even have an idea of what we prefer. And there is a sentence that I tell everyone I work with, that it's, you have to start asking yourself in front of any decision, small or big, what is the best choice for me now? And don't forget the now, because you have to make decisions in the present. And sometimes we make decisions for things that are going to happen so far away. Let's suppose that you have to go to yoga. Then going to yoga is always good because it's good for my mind-body connection. It's good for exercising. It's good because something I do for me. But what if I'm under the weather? If I go on autopilot, I will go to yoga. And maybe what I need that day is to go and rest and lay down in the sofa and do nothing and allow my body to recover. Then when you have this practice, you create the space to stop for a second and at least give yourself the opportunity to think what is important for you.
Let's talk about empathy a little bit, because some people are very empathetic. In fact, almost to the point of being reading people so deeply that they know what they want for the other person. And other people lack empathy. I mean, maybe they grew up as an only child and nobody ever gave them the idea that others exist. I don't know what causes it, but what role does empathy play in here? And how difficult is it for the person that's really an empath to separate what they need versus what someone else needs?
An empath has to be trained. Being empathic is a gift, but some people don't understand it because they are just bombarded by continuously feeling what others feel. I teach people how to release what I call outside influences. We are not taught on releasing, letting go, forgiving. We tend to accumulate. This is like if you don't take a shower in a year, how are you going to feel? How is going to be your skin, your hair? Then energetically, we don't take showers. We don't know how to do this. Nobody explained us. And it's very important to do it. Then an empath tends to, like a sponge, absorb everything that is happening around. But doesn't mean that you have to feel this for a long period of time. You can just let it go. You can distinguish what is your inner feeling from what is happening around you. And the more you train yourself, the more you are like protected in the light, what you send or release, everything that you don't have to carry because it's not yours, the easier your life becomes. And then it's really a gift because you can be more in tune with others. You are more compassionate. You understand. And when you have all this information, you can be kinder. It's easier to relate. But again, it has the two faces. It's not easy for someone that it's overwhelmed with the external information to really connect with what is happening inside of herself or himself. And you can't lose yourself just because there is a lot of information coming from the environment.
It's kind of like I can hear the traffic outside, but that doesn't mean I have to go out there and direct it.
Exactly. Thank you so much. You got it.
So what's the first step a person can take if they're one of these people that is constantly getting input and have been that way since childhood and don't know what's theirs to do and what is theirs to let be? Okay, I see that, I hear that, and it's not my job.
This prayer that I mentioned, or this combination of words, can be changed, whatever it is. But it will say something like, if what I'm experiencing is not mine, may God or source or the universe have a shield around me, and I release whatever it might be to him or to source, to whatever it is. Ask for help to the universe to send the energy that you don't have to carry, because for your soul growth, it's not necessary to really take care of the things that are from others. You may be talking with someone that has a headache, and because you suffer so much for this person, you get the migraine and you live with the migraine. But that's not how things get resolved. You can help this person to do it in a different way, or you go to a hospital or you go to a police station and you just feel the energy that is right there. Then in the moment you leave the premises of this place, use this, or just take the energy and do the same with Mother Earth. Please, Mother Earth, I'm going to send you everything that is not mine, and please compost it, recycle it. Then do it in whatever way, but do it because it's a practice that we all need, not only empaths, we all need to know exactly what is ours and what we need to really take care of, and what is not ours, and we just let it go.
So it sounds like you're working on the energetic level using your intent to sift through what's yours and what isn't. Am I accurate there?
Yes, you are.
Okay. So how much of this is really needs to be dealt with on the energetic level?
A lot. Think that we are all energy. This looks like a body, but it's not a body. It's just molecules that are vibrating in a way that looks like a body. A table or a door, it's not a door. It's just energy. Then we are all energy, and we have to take care of our energy. We feel like we can touch ourselves. We are mass, but not really. We are much more.
So it's the lack of taking care of that energetic component that leaves us like we haven't had a shower for a year.
Yeah, and the understanding that, again, for people that are empaths and they don't know what happens to them is serious and it's complicated. But when you are aware that you have this gift, then things shift because you can take a look differently at life when you know that you have this ability. Then you tune in, but also you can disconnect. It's not that you have to have the doors open 24 hours, 365 days per year.
Finding that volume knob can be challenging, though, can't it?
But we can do it. Again, just because things have been this way for some years of your life doesn't mean that they cannot change. This is like saying because I have this inner critic in my voice that is telling me mean things, I have to believe it. No, the messages that it says might not be true. Then why you have to believe this voice that is just based on all patterns and all information that it's stored in this part of your brain that we call unconscious? Then we can change. We can create new ways of being. And what is necessary is our intention, our commitment to do that.
Well, we're going to have to talk about intention and commitment for sure, but it'll have to be on the other side of a station break. Judith and I will be right back to continue our discussion. So stay right there. This is Mission Evolution, www.missionevolution.org. Who are you? Really? This is Mission Evolution, missionevolution.org. With us discussing self-awareness is Judith Costa. Her website, judithmcosta.com. So before we went into the break, Judith, we were talking about intention and managing energy in order to find the volume knob on being an empath. Could you tell us a little bit more about how we manage this intention and what effect it has in the world?
Yeah, the most important of the skills that you need to love yourself more and to resolve anything is awareness. Another thing that I'm glad that is kids in the schools are learning now, it's mindfulness. Mindfulness means to look at your life without judgment, like as an observer, but without judging the events that happens. We tend to look at our lives, but we judge it. We just see everything that is not working, and we tend not to appreciate the good things and our talents and our successes. Then I don't know where I was going.
We lost you.
Mindfulness. No, I lost myself. Mindfulness. Then why awareness? It's important because, again, if you are just in a moment where you feel overwhelmed by the energy, what you are feeling, and it's just too much, you can just start telling yourself messages like that. I cannot control this. This is too much. It's overwhelming. I want to leave this place. I cannot deal with that. Then try to soothe you. Try to be kind and understanding with yourself, because the messages that you tell to yourself become reality. If I say this is overwhelming, this immediately is overwhelming. I'm started generating like neurochemicals in my body to feel overwhelmed. Then my mind confirms that, and this is just going up and up and up and up. Then when I say intention is that we can stop, we can pause with the power of mindfulness, we can zoom out, see what is happening and make a choice. Like I was saying before with this sentence, no, what is the best decision for me now? Maybe I want to leave this room full of people because I don't feel good here. But maybe I can calm myself down, understand that I can just put like a boundary, energetic boundary, like even if it's in my imagination between who I am, and turn down the volume, and it will work. Because the way you see reality is the way your reality appears to you. But we tend to do the opposite. Like, oh, the reality, I don't like it, then I have to run away, I have to escape because reality has power over me. No, you have power to change your reality. Not like the reality of others, but yours, for sure.
It sounds like the imagination can be quite a tool. In other words, you build in your
Sure.
imagination that which you want to experience.
Yeah, it's exactly that. The power of visualization or imagination or the commitment with yourself to take things differently. Then you cannot turn off the volume totally, but you can turn it down. And maybe that will be enough for the moment.
How many people that are really have their empathy turned on high um, is because they have PTSD. They've been in situations where they weren't safe, and so they have this skill and they use it to make sure they know exactly what's going on around them. But it's just become a way of operating. They don't even know they're doing it.
Yeah, one of the things, and I'm going to start in a different place, and then I'll arrive what you are saying. One of the things that happens when we don't love ourselves is that we have a lot of self-doubt, lack of confidence. We don't feel worthy, and this is a big problem because what we do is we try to control life to feel safe. It's impossible to control life. You will never be successful. You have to learn how to flow with life and to know that you live in a friendly universe, even though it seems the opposite. But it is that you can be guided, you can be supported, you can be feel safe, even though you don't have everything figured out. Then what happens is we have certain mechanisms when we suffer, when we are traumatized, that kind of leave an imprint where we are going to remember this in order to avoid situations like this. When something is so big, then we tend to have it there constantly. But to tell you the truth, there is something that seems impossible, but we do, so that we get attached to be that person with this trauma. And we don't know how our lives will be if this never happened to us, or if we are able to let go, release, forgive the event, the trauma, or whatever you have experienced, and become a new you. We feel bad, but it's a familiar, safe place. Then one of the things that I teach also is that forgiveness is a superpower. And when I talk about forgiveness, it's not forgiving others, it's also forgive yourself. And why I say this, because when I work with people, I explain them that we have a wrong idea of what forgiveness means. We are taught that you have to forgive because others deserve your forgiveness, or because you are a good person and you need to forgive, or because the religion that you practice says that. But forgiveness is an act of self-love. It's a radical act of self-love. It's what sets you free, and it's what allows you to move forward with your life. Then when you are traumatized because an event happened to you, there must be many things, from rape to being in war. There are things that you need to let go. Because what happens is like you don't want, but you are living in the past, in a past that has you hostage. You are in a prison and you need to go out then again, your intention and your commitment can do a lot of good to you. It's not that it's easy, and I'm not going to minimize the problem. There are many people really dealing with this, and I understand it's complicated. We are generalizing here and giving a little bit of ideas for everyone, but this is it. There is a wonderful prayer that I use when I work within the Akashic Records, that it's, if there is anyone or anything that has hurt you in the past, knowingly or unknowingly, I forgive and release it. If there is anyone or anything that I have hurt in the past, knowingly or unknowingly, I forgive and release it. If I have hurt myself in the past, knowingly or unknowingly, I forgive and release it. When you say these words with all your intention, with everything that you have, all your energy right there, things happen.
So you're using the power of intention combined with the power of the spoken word. Beautiful. So
And the
what,
power
go ahead.
power of the divine or the universe, that is who is doing the releasing at the end. We can only forgive what we give out. The problem is that we tend to get attached to these things that are creating suffering within us. But it's not really us, the ones we do that. What we have to do is, I just don't want to continue being connected to this. I just give it. And then this energy can be recycled.
So what part does guilt play in this? Because I kind of see in where if you have done something that you feel bad about, it's pretty easy to make it about the other person, blame them, and hold a grudge, when indeed it's your own guilty conscience that's driving the whole machinery.
Yeah, the funny thing about this is, like, people that are not able to forgive someone else, they continue suffering. Maybe the other person is unaware of the suffering that they provoke, or maybe have moved on, and we are still stuck in that moment in time. Then I don't think there is anything so big that cannot be forgiven. And we have examples of mothers that have visited the killer of their children, and have been there and established a relationship. Then if this woman is able to do that, why we cannot do the same?
That would be the toughest thing, I think, right there. I don't know. I might not be that big of a person, Judith.
Again, we can try. Everything is a practice, but you said something very important. We tend to see that everybody is guilty of something. No, it's the politics, it's the way of the world, it's my boss, it's my partner, it's my. Then what is the connection of everything that is happening in your life? You're always present in there. Then maybe you have something to say about that. And this is not about looking at your life and feeling guilty of everything that you have done or how you have blamed others. The important is that your life starts with every breath you take. Right here, right now, this is a new life for me, just because I have chosen that this is what is going to happen. Then we have the power to release for this. We have the power to start over, to move forward, then learn from what had happened and continue living, because this is a precious gift. You have a life. You are still here.
When a person decides to make these changes, and they decide to have it be a new life, our intent is a very strong thing. Does the things that stand between us and what we intend suddenly start to come up in our face to be cleared?
Yeah, sometimes. Let me give you an example that comes to my mind. Let's suppose that I'm an alcoholic and I tend to hang out with people that drink a lot. They are my friends and I love them, and we had so much fun together. And suddenly I decide that I'm not going to drink anymore. I become sober and I'm still hanging out with the same people, but things are not working very well because I'm not having fun. They are so drunk and I'm not. Then some of the things that they do, I don't really enjoy. And sometimes I say things that, I don't know, they feel judged. The relationship has changed. It's not the same. And there is a moment where I stop going out with them. And it's not that I don't love them. The problem is that I have changed, then my life have also changed. Then when we uh, make changes, it's not that what was wrong shows up in our life, it's that we have to make different choices. And this may include abandon relationships, abandon jobs, transform our lives, putting ourselves first, and doing things that we have been avoiding or we have never have done for ourselves. And the more you love yourself, I have to say that maybe people around you don't feel so happy. And you will know that this is happening. They will express it. And it's because you have changed the rules of the game. And you will have to explain what is happening and why are you doing this to those you love. But simply saying to your child, like, you are 16 and now you are going to make your own breakfast, it's enough. You don't have to really say, but I love you the same way and I'm going to continue doing other things for you, and so on and so on. Then, yeah, maybe the guilt of your transformation may show up, but you understand that this is an emotion. And if you get it and know, okay, it's coming here again, let me look at it and what it's trying to say, then guilt will leave you. It's just coming to say, are you sure you want to do this? And when you continue with your commitment and in your path to loving yourself a little bit more every day, things happen and your life gets much better. It affects every area.
It sounds like the great sorting begins as well. It's about time for us to take another station break. Please stay with us as Judith and I continue to explore the hidden powers of self-love. This is Mission Evolution, www.missionevolution.org, and we're coming to you on the X Zone Broadcast Network, www.xzbn.net. Why do we stop loving ourselves? This is Mission Evolution, missionevolution.org. We're continuing our discussion with Judith Costa. Her website, judithmcosta.com. Judith, don't babies come? Well, given what might have gone on in the womb or not, but for the most part, don't they come with natural self-love that then
Yes,
gets chipped away at?
yes, totally true. Yeah, a small child feels that it's the center of the universe and doesn't have any idea of, no, I'm not going to love myself because I'm not tall enough or I'm not thin enough. Or it's what this process of education and socialization and all of this that I have been explaining, what happens from 0 to 7, that we start taking messages that makes us feel that we have to earn love, that we are not good enough, that if we don't, if we are not the way our parents or other people we like grandparents or teachers or mentors, if we are not the way they want us to be, we lose their love, and then we think that we have to change to gain love, to be loved, to be accepted, to fit in, to belong to the group.
So we're reversing that process then when we try to rediscover self-love as an adult. Does but as an adult, we run into the pushback from people that liked it the way it was. Thank you very much. I liked you doing everything for me. I liked you taking responsibility for my life, and now you're not. This isn't okay. It sounds like quite a complex process when you're working in reverse to try to regain self-love. How do
Well,
we engage
sometimes,
that?
yes, sometimes what happens is like we arrive to a crisis and we don't have any other option just to do it. And let me talk in first person here. When I was diagnosed in 2016 with thyroid cancer, I was already teaching self-love, and I thought that I had a good level of self-love. I mean, I learned a lot since all these problems when I was younger, that I discovered self-love and I started building a different life. But it was at that moment when I had to face this illness, when I really start making changes that have lasted until nowadays. I had to take the idea of loving myself to the fullest. It's not just an idea or a philosophy. Love is a verb and it has to be demonstrated into action. Then loving yourself, what does it mean? Well, for me, it means that I stopped working. I didn't close the business. I just didn't advertise, but it was one of the most creative periods of time of my life. I rested every time I wanted. I spent the money that I had in alternative healing and medicine. And I took a break before going through surgery. I'm not recommending anyone, disclaimer, to do this. But for me, it was important to understand what this illness was trying to tell me. What was the reason why I ended up having this? I left my house every day, sometimes because I work from home. I am living in Florida. You have to go early in the morning for a walk or late when the sun is not there. And I keep saying, I'll do it later. I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it tomorrow. And maybe I have been 2 or 3 days in the house without going out because I had so much work. Then now I do it first thing in the morning. Everything that is important is scheduled first thing in the morning. I meditate when I wake up. I work with my dreams. I do Qigong. I learn many different techniques, many things of healing. I change the way I ate, and so on, so on. I can continue explaining, but I put myself as a priority. Then don't wait until you lose your job or you lose your husband or you enter in a crisis or you feel so unfulfilled that you don't know what is going on in your life. Love yourself a little bit more every day. This is a process. Is it possible to love the unlovable parts of yourself? Is it possible to forgive, to move on, to release, to be there for you, to really build a life with joy and love?
How much do you think that okay, let me back up a little bit. So love is there. Okay. It's a matter of our ability to receive it. And if we feel that we aren't worthy of it, we put up blocks. And when we put up blocks, it blocks energy. And when we block energy, we get sick. Okay. How much do you think that the inability to receive love from ourselves and others has to do with physical and mental illness?
It's very difficult to answer. I think for sure there is a strong correlation. Because when you love yourself, you make choices that are good for you. Not only the typical self-care, no? Sleeping, eating, and drinking enough water and all of this. It goes further. Nowadays, a lot of people talk about this, but there is an emotional component behind every illness. It's not by chance that someone has problems in the head and someone has problems in the knee or in the heart. Then for sure there is a strong correlation because it makes total sense that is this way. But again, the problem with love is that because of relationships have not worked in the past, we tend to make love guilty of it. And we disconnect from love. And love is what will save you. Love is what will give you the energy to come back into the field and to love again. Love is your power. It's not your enemy. And then relationships can break your heart. And that's the reason why we sometimes, many of us, put like an invisible wall that it seems to protect us. But what happens is like doesn't allow love to come in, but also doesn't allow love to go out. And love, through love, it's a flow. It has to be given and it has to be received. For a lot of people, it's so easy to give, but they are not ready to receive it. Then it's not love. Maybe it's something else, but it cannot be called love.
So love can break your heart, they say, but actually love is the mender of the heart, is it not?
Exactly. Like someone's behavior can be inappropriate or you can feel unloved. But again, when you look at yourself with kindness and compassion, with understanding that you are suffering, you don't have the need anymore to blame others for your pain. You can find the resources within yourself to help with the pain that you are suffering and to find the ways to release it. The problem is that we tend to feel that it's easier to make someone like the guilty one, and then I don't have to change. I don't have to take responsibility for my life because it's your fault. It's your fault, not mine. Then you have to change your behavior. And I remember when I was young, I married young, and it was totally unfair. But I put all the stress on top of my husband for him to make me happy. I thought that he was the responsible for making me happy, and that's totally unfair. I am the one that has to find happiness within and then share it with my partner, and not the opposite. But again, what we know when we are young about love, we learn through relationships. And if you are lucky and you have been loved and you have received approval and validation and all of these things go well, and when you have felt like since you were a kid that nobody loves you and nobody have told you how great you are, how unique, how special, and how wonderful, and there is no one else like you, and because you exist, the world is different, then even when you say it to yourself, it seems fake because you are waiting for someone else outside of yourself to give you what you feel that is missing, and you feel that the world is against you and others are guilty of not loving yourself. But when you start building this love from scratch, liking you, appreciating you, being grateful for existing and connecting with love frequently, many times, as much as you can, when you open your eyes, think about that I am joyful, I am lovable, and I am unique, then is when you stop waiting for others to give you the love. When you receive it, it's amazing. We are here to love, to share this love, to support others. But when you don't receive it, you are not devastated because you understand that you are the source of this love. You always will have it.
So being able to open to the flow versus try to get it out of somebody else or dump it on somebody else. Let's talk a little bit about unconditional love. What is that?
Is love for no reason. Love without conditions is like the PhD of love. And this comes from the understanding that you can love someone in spite of who the other person is. It's not that if you look at society, people will say, oh, we are married, I love you so much, and then we get divorced and I don't love you anymore. That's not true. I mean, first, love is an energy, never disappears, but you can still love someone, not that you want to continue in the relationship, but you can continue loving the person that you once loved or wanted the best for him or her. Then love is not a relationship. Love is a beautiful energy that you can send others. And this is a very strange concept for many people. What do you mean? Like you can love someone? Yeah, you can end a relationship or a friendship or a partnership. It doesn't mean that you have to hate the other person. Then it's up to you.
So it's a matter of, we try to justify, well, if I love you, therefore I have to be with you. And if I can't be with you anymore, I can't love you anymore.
Yeah.
But it sounds like what we're doing here is discerning proximity. Okay, so I love this person, but we aren't doing each other any favors. So distance, not being in a relationship, might be the way to go.
Yeah, but you can still send love and light to this person if you want. I mean, after being 25 years married with someone, something important may have happened in the relationship that justifies to continue being connected to this person. Then again, we don't need the other person to change. Love is a choice. It's a choice that we make every morning when we open our eyes. It's the same as happiness. We think that we can only be happy when everything around us works perfectly, and it's not true. You have to learn how to be joyful in spite of the circumstances, because you choose joy. You choose to live in this state of being. And love is a state of being. It's not an emotion. It's not a passing feeling.
Well, Judith, it's that time in the program. In fact, we're just about out of time in the program. So I get to ask you, what's your mission?
To spread love in the world.
And do you do that not just through yourself, but by educating others?
Yeah, through everything I do, in every session, in every class, in every workshop. Sometimes I go like walking in the street, And do that. You can send love telepathically. Let's say you don't have to say it to everybody, or just give a smile, be kind, open the door to someone, help, say a nice word, be compassionate. Then you want a more loving world? Start being loving.
Boy, that is the key. Judith, thank you so much for coming on the show and sharing your love and your wisdom.
Thank you so much for having me. It has
It's my
been
pleasure.
an honor.
Our guest this hour has been Judith Costa. Judith, an unconditional love coach, has a master's degree in analytical psychology and psychotherapy and an MBA. To find out more about Judith and all she has to offer, visit her website, judithmcosta.com. This has been Mission Evolution with Gwilda Wiyaka. For more information or to enjoy past archived episodes, you can always visit our website, www.missionevolution.org. But please be sure to join me right here next time. This mission will continue, bringing information, resources, and support to an evolving world.